Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. So tonight I'm cooking a big breakfast for dinner, and so I thought I would take you guys along with me. This was a special request from my family. I think if I let them have pancakes and bacon every single night for dinner, they would totally eat it. But I have a lot of like ingredients in my house that I'm trying to use up right now, just trying to kind of get through some stuff in my freezer and pantry. So I thought it would be fun to just make a big breakfast for dinner meal. So I'm gonna make some ham, some bacon, pancakes. I am also going to make hash brown casserole or cheesy potatoes, whatever you call it. Probably some fruit and some scrambled eggs. So let's get to cooking. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna work on is the hash brown casserole because that is what's going to take the longest to cook. So there are lots of different recipes for this online. This is just how I make it. I have a bag of frozen hash browns that I microwave for just about 4 minutes. That was just to basically thaw them out. I didn't, try to cook them or anything. You can, make them from frozen, but in my experience, sometimes they turn out kind of crunchy and they don't cook all the way. So I prefer to have them defrosted. I have some milk, some sour cream, 1 can of cream of chicken soup. Yes, I'm using cream of chicken soup. You definitely, I feel like, need it for this recipe. I'm sure you can make your own from homemade. And I have used cheddar cheese soup before and it has worked as well. The seasonings I use are pepper, a little bit of salt, and then you can use diced onion in here, but I don't really care for like chunks of onion in the casserole. So I just use onion powder and then some shredded cheddar cheese. And then I also have 1 stick of butter that I melted in the microwave. This recipe is also in my cookbook. If you have that, I can't remember what page it's on, but I think it's called Cheesy Potato Bake. So I'm gonna put a little bit of milk in this sour cream container and shake it up just to get the rest of the sour cream out of there. And normally for this recipe, it doesn't call for milk, but I always find if I use it that it makes the casserole a little bit creamier. Like it's not so dry, but that's just personal preference. Okay, then I'm gonna add my 1 can of cream of chicken. I've also seen people use like cream of celery and cream of mushroom, which I think could be okay. I don't really care for mushrooms, so I probably wouldn't use that. I also actually, when I make tater tot casserole, which if you don't know what that is, you're probably not from the Midwest, or sometimes it's called tater tot hot dish. The dog's freaking out. But I also use cream of chicken soup in that. I'll have to make that sometime for you guys. It's an old recipe, It's like the food we all ate growing up back in the 80s and 90s, Just cream of everything soup mixed together with cheese on top. Okay, so to this, I'm gonna add some salt. Go easy on the salt. I mean, maybe just about a teaspoon because you're gonna add a lot of cheese to it. And then of course the soup has salt in it too. And then some onion powder and then some black pepper. I prefer to mix all of the wet ingredients separately and then pour it over the hash browns so I can make sure that everything is kind of evenly combined. Okay, so you can totally use pre-shredded cheddar cheese for this, but I don't have any right now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and grate my own. And then you're gonna say, Jennifer, I thought you were eating paleo right now. Well, I have been eating mostly paleo. However, on weekends and especially like when we have like special occasions and stuff, like for example, last weekend, we went to like an Oktoberfest and stuff like that. Like I'm not gonna, be strict with it 100% of the time because, food is one of the things that I really love about life. And I think that I don't know. I mean, there are people that definitely are perfect 100% of the time, and I have never been one of them. So anyway, I like tonight, I won't eat the pancakes because I'm just not a huge pancake fan. Like give me cheesy hash browns any day. Okay, so there's my cheese. I can't remember the exact measurement for cheese. I think it's like 2 cups, something like that. I'm gonna save some for top. And I always prefer to mix the cheese into the wet ingredients because I think it distributes more evenly that way. But again, the choice is yours. I do have a cheesy potato recipe that I think my grandma on my dad's side used to make when I was a kid. And it uses Cheese Whiz and butter, and it's like very sinful, but it's like really delicious. All right, so hash browns, I'm gonna scoop this cheesy sauce into there with a spatula so I make sure I get all of it out. All right, and then I'm just gonna fold this together. Since I defrosted the potatoes, I'm just gonna kind of do it gently and make sure that I don't end up mashing any of the potatoes up. I mean, I'm sure that would be good too, like a mashed cheesy potato casserole. And you can use cubed hash browns if you would like for this. I prefer the shredded ones, but you can use either. Okay, I'm gonna use a foil pan because I have one on hand and I really do not feel like scrubbing a 9x13 dish. So I'm just gonna put this in here. Now, a lot of recipes call to put like crushed up potato chips on top, or you can also use like crushed up regular, I say potato chips, cornflakes or potato chips, either one. I don't know what I have in the pantry right now, so I'm not gonna put anything on them yet. And then towards the end, I'll see what I have in the pantry. All right, I'm gonna sprinkle the rest of this cheese over the top and then put this in the oven. I have the oven set at 400 and this will probably bake for, I don't know, about 45 minutes or so. All right, breakfast meat. So I'm definitely gonna make this bacon. I'm gonna do it in the oven. That is the easiest and the least amount of mess. However, I was gonna make a little bit of ham because I thought that would be good with the cheesy potatoes. However, now that I'm looking at this ham, it's very thinly sliced, and I think if I bake it in the oven, it's just gonna, like, I think it's gonna dry out, even if I, you know, put like some honey and broth and stuff over it like I normally do. So I think I'm gonna save this for something different. I was just trying to use it up, and instead I'm going to roast some of these paleo chicken sausages. And even if, I'll probably roast all of these, but we definitely won't eat them all tonight, but we can take them for leftovers this week for work. I got these from Costco. They were on a sample there and they were really good. Sabatino's paleo basil and cracked black pepper smoked chicken sausage. So they don't have any pork in them or anything, just chicken, and they don't have any added sugar. So they were really good. Hopefully the kids will like them too. Okay, so I've got a sheet tray here that I lined with foil, and then this is just a cooking rack or a cooling rack. Everyone always asks me where I got this. I don't know. I honestly think this is a cheap cooling rack from Walmart, and then this is just a sheet tray that I probably ordered on Amazon, and it just happens to fit together. So I normally spray the rack just so it doesn't stick quite as much, and then I just lay the bacon across it. And I'm sorry if you can hear Murphy, you probably heard him growling a little bit earlier. He was trying to play with his ball by himself in the living room. Adam and Connor are outside playing football right now, and they don't want Murphy out there because when they drop the ball, Murphy will try and bite it, and he will pop the football. So he's gonna have to wait until they want to play tennis ball with him. All right, so for the sausage, I've got a tray here that I'm just gonna line with parchment paper. And like I said, I'm just gonna roast this in the oven. I think you could obviously do it on the stovetop as well, but as long as I have the oven on, it will make less of a mess. So I'm just gonna slice these into coins, and then when you put them on the baking sheet, just make sure that you have them face down, like on either one side or the other, and if possible you can also flip them halfway through. That will make sure that they get nice and crispy on the outside. I don't think these are gonna have a ton of fat in them since they're chicken, so what I'll probably do is just add a tiny little bit of olive oil to toss them in, just like maybe 1 tablespoon for the whole tray. That way I can make sure they get crispy. All right, so we'll just do like a tiny little drizzle, and then I'll toss these. I guess that's really not any different than browning them in a little bit of oil in a skillet, right? I'm not sure I'm gonna have the patience to turn these all over one by one while they roast in the oven, but I might give them a toss halfway through. So I'm gonna stick these in next to the potatoes. All right, so pancakes. I would normally make these homemade. I actually have a recipe in my cookbook that I use all the time. However, I cleaned out my pantry yesterday and I found this half-used box of Aunt Jemima pancake mix. So I'm gonna use this because, like I said, I'm trying to get through some of the stuff in my freezer and pantry. And I was gonna say, I don't think, honestly, the meal that I'm cooking today, I don't think I had to go to the store to buy anything. So that's always one of my challenges is using what I have instead of going to the store. And I also, you know, get sent a lot of things for YouTube. That's the thing about doing like food YouTube videos, is you're constantly getting sent things. And so it is a challenge sometimes to, you know, get everything used up before buying more. This is my Danish dough whisk, by the way. I'll link it down below. I really like it a lot. It's good for like muffins. I mean, basically any kind of batter that you make. Okay, so I've got 2 eggs in there. I've got 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil and then 1.5 cups of milk. Now, I'm not gonna add the dry mix just yet because the pancakes are gonna be the last thing that I make since I want those to be fresh. So I'm just gonna mix together the wet ingredients for now and then I'll add the dry ingredients later. Actually, I'm gonna add a little bit of vanilla too. I like adding that. You can also add a little bit of almond extract in pancakes. That's really good too. It's really good if you're gonna do like strawberry pancakes with a little bit of almond extract. Yum. All right, so I'm gonna set this aside for now. All right, so eggs. I was trying to think of how many scrambled eggs I wanted to make. I think I'm gonna do 8. I am not a huge fan of eggs, so I might eat a little bit. I have a recipe that I wanna show you guys sometime that I made a long time ago. It's a recipe for like a scrambled egg casserole that you can actually make the night before. So it's really great for going to a, you know, get together or something like that. I'll have to show you guys that sometime. It's got broccoli in it and like a cheese sauce and eggs, and they are not dry at all. They're really good. I think it's a Taste of Home recipe that I have from one of my like old cookbooks. Every time I make breakfast, I want to tell you guys this story. Every time I make breakfast, I think, or like cook a big breakfast, I always think about this story. So when I was in nursing school, like 20 years ago at this point, I had someone in my class, in my clinicals, that was just very like nervous all the time. I had been a CNA prior to going to nursing school, and so I think that I probably wasn't as nervous as some of the other people were that hadn't ever worked in healthcare. And I just remember him asking one of our clinical instructors one day, how do you figure all this out? And how do you keep track of everything when you're taking care of like 5 or 6 patients all at once? And she said, it's like making breakfast. It's like making a big breakfast. The first time you do it, you're probably not gonna have everything all ready at the same time, but as you do it more and more often, the end, when you become proficient at it, you'll have the pancakes ready and the bacon won't be burnt and the eggs will be hot and everything will be hot and done all at the same time. And that's like nursing. And I've just always thought of that. You know, those like little metaphors that never go out of your mind. So anyway, I thought that was fun, but I always think of that when I'm making a big breakfast. All right, I'm gonna add some salt. You know, if I had some creme fraiche, I would add that too, but I don't have any right now, even though that is hashtag not paleo. All right, so eggs, a little bit of milk, salt and pepper. This is actually the whisk that goes to my hand mixer. Classy, right? Okay, I'm gonna set this aside. As soon as the potatoes are done, the bacon's almost done, and the sausage is done, then I'll start on the pancakes and then the scrambled eggs. Okay, so I wanted to like have some kind of a fruit for a side, but I'm kind of limited right now on what I have because I haven't been to the grocery store yet. So I'm gonna do like some apples with this dip that I've seen people make online. So you mix together basically peanut butter, yogurt, and cinnamon. I'm not sure of the quantities, so I'm just gonna guess. So I don't have any vanilla yogurt, but I have toasted marshmallow Greek yogurt, so we're gonna try that. So I don't know how much to add. I'm just gonna add like, I don't know, 1/4 cup maybe. And then this is really good yogurt. It's the Dannon Light and Fit Greek yogurt with toasted marshmallow flavor. All right, and then instead of cinnamon, I think I'm gonna use this Primal Palette cinnamon sugar cookie seasoning, which is I think basically just cinnamon and coconut sugar, but I didn't want to like dump cinnamon in there and have it be too strong. So let me mix this up. All right, I'm gonna put this in a bowl and stick it in the fridge. All right, I'm gonna try something I saw on TikTok. So one thing you can do when you cut up apples is you can actually put them, like soak them in salt water so that they don't brown. But I saw this one lady making her kids lunch, I think it was on TikTok, and she used her crinkle cutter to cut the apples, and they were like apple fries. And I was like, those are literally the cutest thing I've ever seen. So I thought I would do them. Aren't those cute? I'm gonna put them in the salt water. Oh my gosh, that's adorable. I guess if you wanted to be super authentic, you could peel the apple, but ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do with the eggs. I've got a nonstick skillet here with a little bit of, I had to use my plant-based butter because I was all out of regular butter, but I'm gonna pour the eggs in there, and then I am basically gonna scramble these until they are a bit underdone and then transfer them to a pan and just hold them in the warm oven until we're ready to eat so I can make the pancakes last. Okay, so this is about the doneness that I want them. So I actually don't need to transfer these to anything because this, it's fine. I'm just gonna cover it up and let it stay warm. All right, so here's how our chicken sausage turned out. I actually did turn them over halfway through and you can see they got nice and crispy on both sides. Delicious. So I actually am gonna transfer these to this dish so that I can cover them up and keep them warm. All right, so I am heating up my griddle. This actually came with my stove. There's like an oblong burner under there, and this is really the only time that I use this is for pancakes. I mean, I have used it for burgers and stuff like that before, but it does work really well for pancakes. So I'm just gonna ladle this out and cook these, and while I cook them, I'll basically put a pan in the oven covered with foil, and then when they're done, I'll stick them in there to keep them warm while I make all the others. All right, so let me show you guys how everything turned out. So here is the sausage, and then the eggs turned out perfect. So that's good, they're still warm. And over here, I've got some bacon, or all of the bacon, the apples with the peanut butter, whatever, yogurt dip, cheesy potatoes, and pancakes. I'll make a plate and then I'll show you guys how it looks. All right, so here's what I have on my plate. Just some potatoes and eggs and sausage and bacon. I don't know if I'm gonna have any pancakes or not, but I'll probably have some apples. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you were inspired to make breakfast for dinner. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.